Hey guys, I'm Molly with the Flying Hens. Our family of 5 travel full-time in this 2021 Heartland Cyclone 4007. We did a video walkthrough last year about this time, but we've done some big-time renovations and updates to our rig, so we want to show you around. Come on inside. Alright, so right when you enter, we have a door with a trash can. It's really convenient to have it right by the door. And a drop-through slot that is covered up. Alright, so one of the reasons we really love the 4007 model is because of the layout of this space. We love having a dining room table. That's very important to us as a family. We like having meals together. But in the original model, the table came out this way, kind of parallel to the wall, and we just kind of flipped it around. We added a farmhouse tabletop, and that bench seating over there, we liked how it was more conversational to people who might be sitting on the couch. So when we have friends over, everybody can feel included in the space. So other things that we did were we added some wallpaper and backsplash, painted the cabinets, and there was curved molding up there, and we added crown instead. Now you can see the baskets up there. They're a great way to have storage in the RV that still looks cute. So this is our living room. Our RV couch is one of our favorite things. A lot of people, they don't really like RV couches. We love ours. It's very comfy and functional. You just simply pull this lever, scoot back and back. So comfy. And it provides a great view to the 55-inch TV up there. Comes standard with the RV. Another great feature about this couch is it folds down like that, and there's additional cup holders and USB charging ports, additional cup holders on the side. So another thing that we did in this renovation was that the original floor plan had corner cabinets here. They weren't really functional and they were kind of ugly, so we took those out and added baskets instead. They're very functional and they're cute. We also took out the valances and the curved molding on the ceiling. We added this wood trim around the slide. And let's see. Oh, these shades come standard with the Cyclone 4007 model. They're great at keeping out light or letting in a whole lot of light. One of the things we love about the Heartland models are that they do a good job with putting windows on all the walls. You can see just in this room, we have a bunch of windows. It lets great natural light in. Welcome to our kitchen. So over here you'll see that we have an 18 cubic foot residential refrigerator. I'll open it up and you can see that there is plenty of space for all sorts of food for our family of 5. And down below we have a split freezer. So you can get this, or there's an option for propane electric. We chose this. Up here, I keep my pots and pans and other extra things. It's a big mess, so we'll just close that up. And over here you'll see the kitchen. So we have a full-size microwave, a 3-burner stove, and a nice size oven. So far, it's worked perfectly for cooking all sorts of meals for the past year. So you'll notice that we have all sorts of counter space here. And right now the covers are on over the sink if you need the additional counter space, but if you need to use the sink, simply take these off and you can see that it's very large. All right, so let's talk about some of the renovations that we did in the kitchen. So the old model had curved molding, and we replaced that with the crown molding up there. Painted the cabinets, obviously, and then we took out this whole cabinet and added these beautiful stained wood shelves. Love them. It kind of has that whole farmhouse vibe. We also added the backsplash, took the balances out, and we added this cute light fixture. You guys like it? We also have some more of those storage baskets above the cabinets too. All right, come up here. This is the control panel for all of the ins and outs of the RV. I don't really know much about that, so I'm going to have Chris tell you about that after the interior tour, so stay tuned. This also is the control for our solar things, which I also know nothing about, so I'm going to let Chris talk about that later. And over here is our pantry. So I'm going to show you real quick. It's kind of messy and unorganized, but it goes 2 feet back there, so it's really deep. But it holds all the dry goods that we need. So, and this door leads into this access from this area to the bathroom, which we'll look at in a second, and we'll go into the master bedroom. Welcome to our master bedroom. So one of the things we love about the 4007 floor plan is all of the space that we have in this room. You can see I have plenty of floor space right here, and that's due to the double slide feature that's in the 4007 model. A slide within a slide. Isn't it awesome? So this allows for plenty of space. You could do yoga here, you could jump around, I don't know, but we love all the extra space in here. You can also see that there's this beautiful picture window. Right now we're overlooking the Badlands in South Dakota. So we love having this picture window for all the views around the country. This dresser has plenty of drawer space for all of our stuff. And you can see our cute little fireplace. It also has 2 heat settings, so it does help keep us warm during the winter months. Now in the bed, there is under bed storage. It's kind of messy and unorganized, but you can see that there's plenty of space down here. At the end of the bed, we added these IKEA trones that hold all of our shoes. So even when the slide is in, these fit fine at the end of the bed. Now I'm going to talk about our washer and dryer setup. We do have a washer and dryer in our RV. Over here in this cabinet, we keep our detergents. Now I should say that in most of the Cyclone models, they have the S5 package, which will include some extra TVs and a central vac system, along with some other extras. We opted not to get that package, and normally there would be a TV in here. If you had that package, we don't really watch TV, especially in our bedroom, so we just use that for storage. Now over here, I'm going to show you really quick our storage in our closets. There's plenty of closet space for both his and hers clothes. One tip would be for organizing, definitely use little storage bins to keep small things from shifting around while you travel. And you can also utilize floor space. We have our file cabinet, we have a medicine cabinet down there. So those are also great storage solutions. Here we have the other entrance to the main bathroom. There was a pocket door here, but it broke off. So we've just been using a pretty curtain. But if you peek inside, you can see that there is a full tub there. Great for washing kids and dogs and all of that. And you can see the little renovation that we've done so far. We have painted the cabinets, added a backsplash, just to make it a little cute in here. There's plenty of storage space in the cabinets for all of the things we need. All right, now I'm going to show you our favorite room in the RV, what we call the kid hauler. So the reason why we bought a toy hauler was for this multi-purpose space right here. This is our workout space, the kids' playroom, the kids' bedroom. We do school back here. It's so multifunctional and it's just a great space. So we remodeled it to put real floors in and painted the walls to make it feel more like an actual room. So you can see I brought my Peloton bike with me. That just makes me happy to be able to work out every day. Over here we have this storage solution. This holds our books and toys and some extra things there. Over here we have this IKEA table. This folds out on either side, so it's a pretty big table. We can do schoolwork over here and eat meals. As well as off to this side, you can see we have these more IKEA trones for shoe storage for the kids. All right, so this is the TV, and then this is a 5-drawer dresser. We actually had kind of a hard time finding a dresser that would fit this bump out. So if you're looking for one, we've linked it in our Amazon store below. It holds all of our kids' clothes. So over here is the half bath. We've remodeled it to make it a little bit more cute. So with toy haulers, they usually have a folding door that folds back and latches so that you can bring a golf cart or side-by-side in. We decided we didn't really need it, and so we removed the door and added this curtain instead. Above me, you'll see that there's access to the lofted bunk. The reason why we liked this Cyclone model was because the bunk actually faced this garage space, so that when we shut the door at night, the kids are all in the same space and we're not disturbing anyone with anything that we're doing in the living room. So up here is our son's loft space. You can see that this sleeping area, we added custom shelves so that holds his books and other things. And then we also made this cutout to the corner cabinet, and that provides him some more storage for all of his things. All right, so up here you're going to see a bunch of little buttons, and they actually control a lot of the things that go on in the toy hauler. We got our awnings off to the side and off the back deck, and then a bunch of lights. Right here is the Happy Jack button. So that controls our bed platforms. So the top platform we have just pinned in place, and we use that for storing our fall and winter clothes. And then the bottom platform is what we use to lower for our girls to sleep. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right, so the girls sleep here, and it's perfect for them to share a bed. They're young, so it's great. When we bought the Cyclone, it actually came with couches, and we removed those and added the second platform bed. This works better for our families. Another great feature of having the toy hauler is to have this back deck area. So leading out to the deck, we have these 3-season doors. They have the screened in part if you want to let in a nice breeze, or you can pull the glass panels up if it's too hot or too cold out. They slide open like this, and then you can just simply pull on these tabs over here to open it all the way up and come out to the deck. You can see that we have safety railing out here, and this 8x8 deck is perfect for pulling up some chairs or a table, enjoying the view. I think it speaks for itself.
Hey, I'm Chris, and as promised, I'm here to talk about the main control panel here in the kitchen. So when you open it up, you've got at the top here the WineGuard Connect. This is a pre-wired feature for the WineGuard 360 antenna that's for Wi-Fi boosting, but we don't have that on board. That's an add-on feature. You've got some lights. That's for your outside, inside, everything. We have a fan up top with a vent. The remote Magnum Energy switch. This is for your inverter. When you are traveling on the road and you're not hooked up to any kind of AC power, then you would turn your inverter on, and that's what would run your refrigerator in the kitchen, because we have a residential refrigerator. If you had the propane electric, you wouldn't have this switch. We actually don't use this ever because we have an upgraded aftermarket system for inverters and everything, which I'll speak about in just a second. The Lippert One Control Panel. This one is where we can control awnings, leveling system. The monitor panel shows tanks, level, like the quantity levels. You can control slides and lighting, generator. It's kind of a one-stop place to do the main features of the RV. The other main features of the RV are the slides. So we have the two, remember the slide and slide that we talked about before? Here's one slide, here's the other slide in the bedroom. You have the awning light switch here and the awning extend and retract. The power control system is good. It detects what kind of power you're hooked up to. It doesn't show the right thing right now because once again we talked about the aftermarket system and we're actually boondocking, so we're not hooked up to any power right now. But if you were connected to 30 amp service, this is going to make sure that you don't overload your shore power pole by turning on 2 ACs and a microwave. It's going to limit it. Once it detects 30 amps, it's going to load shed an air conditioner so that it keeps all the loads to a safe, suitable level. That's a good system. This here is our Victron Energy display system here. We have Victron inverters, some lithium batteries, and great solar system that's all shown by what's going on here. So it has your battery status, it has your solar panel, what the output from the panels there, your DC loads and your AC loads that you're drawing off your battery. If you were hooked up to shore power, it's going to tell you here what's going on, excuse me. And then in the menus, this is the great feature where I can go into the inverter and I can control a bunch of different things, but most importantly, how much power I'm drawing off of the shore power, how much power I want to be drawn off the batteries. From this panel, I don't need to be hooked up to the app or anything like that to control the electrical system and monitor everything going on. Hey, y'all, welcome to the exterior tour of our Heartland Cyclone 4007. I have this in my pocket. Anybody need a wrench? All right. Hey, y'all, welcome to the exterior tour of our Heartland Cyclone 4007. We'll start in the back here. This is the garage entry door. It also has 4-step kind of folding steps to enter. If we come back here, we have the spray port on the outside. We have a hose that kind of connects to either this side or the other side. It's great for spraying off your feet as you're out in the dirty, dusty areas before entering. Speaking of dirty, dusty areas, we've been living in this for 13 months, so it's a little dirty on the outside. Please look past that as we continue. This is where the furnace is. We put the little screen covers on here. These are highly recommended to keep like mud daubers and wasps and things from getting in there and creating their little nests and causing problems later on. We have a triple axle, 7,000 pounds each. It gives us plenty of durability and gives us enough weight capacity for a 20,000 pound trailer. Front door here. We have the MORRIDE step above, which actually makes solid contact to the ground, which means when you walk and step up and go inside, it doesn't shake the RV at all compared to the typical fold-up stairs like we have in the back. We did add the RV lock to both the front and the back doors. These are great. We love them because you can just type in your keys pad and get into the RV, no keys necessary. There's also a remote control to lock and unlock. As you can see, we have a 3-year warranty on the structural aspect. There's a 1-year kind of like overall warranty on the trailer. The other kind of big key component is the Asdel. That's the siding that the whole RV is made out of. It's a composite material, so there's no more like rot because of the wood fiberglass kind of like delamination and all that kind of stuff. So that's really nice thinking ahead to not having any major weather problems. We have our outdoor kitchen here. The outdoor kitchen is great, but we don't really find it as functional as it could be. But I'll tell you about that in just a second. We've got a TV here. We've got our light above, so at nighttime you have a little bit of light to cook with. Tray slides out, locks in place, and a little bendable faucet for your outdoor sink. That's just a basin sink, but just enough to kind of wash dishes, wash hands, dump it out, good to go. We have our oven, stovetop. Great, it's got its wind blocks and everything, 2-burner stovetop. Problem is right now we're on an upslope, so we're actually lower to the ground here than normal. So this is as low as it gets. If you're on other slopes, like it can be a little high, but if you've got a step, or we don't cook outside a lot, so it doesn't bother us much. But I think that could be maybe improved on a little bit. But otherwise, great little functional space out here. Oh, kill this. Mini fridge. We've got everything we need in here. Just a day's supply of Dr. Pepper, and but good outdoor fridge. We have the water heater right here. The one thing that I do want to mention on the water heater is down in the bottom, we have a plastic plug right here. Okay, this means that we don't have an anode rod. We don't have the corrosion issue that other ones will have. It's an aluminum tank versus a steel tank. If you've got a steel tank, you've got a metal plug here. Those need to be changed regularly, checked and changed, because the anode rod is there to protect your tank from corroding. Well, I think I talked a little bit more about that in our original video. This is where we come into our main basement storage. One of the great things about the Cyclone 4007 is I think it has one of the biggest basement storages in a toy hauler. The doors, you've got one door here, you got one on the other side, along with the third door on the other side that you'll see in just a minute. Gotta love old diesel trucks. But having that third door is great, as you'll see from the other side. This is where we have a lot of our aftermarket solar and electrical equipment that I'll talk about in a few minutes. But that's kind of from this point all the way over. Standard, though, is this hot water bypass valve, or hot water heater bypass valve. This is what you can turn here to bypass it if you don't want to run like bleach to sanitize through it and everything. That's your bypass. You come with a cable and satellite TV hookup for here, like an external one. We got a receptacle as well. This is aftermarket. Get your battery disconnect over here, along with a few lights throughout the basement here to light it up at night. The cubbies down below also is great for quick access for when you have most of your stuff kind of stored up in here. You can still access a few things on the fly. Propane. You've got two 30-gallon tanks, one on the passenger side, one on the driver's side. The key is this automatic regulator. This automatic regulator is kind of misunderstood by some. I know I didn't know about it for the first 6 months. Come on back in here. You have both lines. This is the one coming in from the driver's side and the one from the passenger side. So what you want to do is you want to leave both tanks open. So open up the valves on this tank and on the other tank. Select, using this lever, one of the sides. When it'll draw from that side that you select until it runs out. When it runs out, it'll automatically switch over to the other side. When it automatically switches to the other side, this little indicator will switch from the green to the red, indicating that this side is now out. Flip it over. When you flip it over, this side will go green again. Once you utilize an item inside that runs on propane, it'll kind of draw to green. And then you now have a few days or however long it takes to drain this tank to refill and start the process over. It automatically flips and switches over for you. So there's no 2 o'clock in the morning when it's 40 degrees outside, you're going outside because you've ran out of propane. So what we also have on the outside here, kind of looking at the big picture, we have like a 19-foot, I think about a 12-foot awning in the back. Two very, very good sized awnings. And we've had them in a decent amount of wind, but as always, with all kind of big windstorms, put them in or you're going to lose your awning, I promise. Seen it already too many times. Along with that, we've got outdoor speakers. Got two out here. And those speakers are connected to the radio that's in the garage, which I didn't really understand that. because when you're out here and you're listening to the speakers here with your Bluetooth on your phone, it barely reaches that radio in the back. So it'd be nice if the speakers were further back, but here's where they are. It works. You can make do. We have as well. In the side marker lights here, they have the Furion camera bracket already pre-wired up so that if you buy that bracket, you can mount a backup camera, like your two side ones there on this side, the other side, and then there's one in the back as well for a rear backup camera. It already comes with a washer hookup, the two water lines ready to go, but you need to drill your own dryer vent, so we added that. And then this is the drain basin for the washer itself. In case it leaks, it'll come right out here instead of onto our floor. Underneath, we have kind of, this was electrical and hydraulic. Some of it still operates like normal, and some of it doesn't work at all because, well, we don't need it, and we have our aftermarket stuff. The original factory batteries, the house batteries, were right here. It comes with two 100 amp hour batteries. One of them is still here. We use this to help give a little boost to start up our generator. A lot of this is like DC wiring, so your lights, your slides, all the stuff that runs off of DC power. And that's kind of along this little DC bus. This is your inverter. If you remember the little white switch I talked about a few minutes ago inside that you would run your refrigerator off of as you're in transit and not hooked up to anything, this is what's actually taking the power from your batteries and converting it from DC power to AC power so your residential fridge will operate at all times. Otherwise, we added this converter from 24 volt down to 12 volt DC power so that our battery system that's a 24 volt system can run our 12 volt DC power. Otherwise, everything else is kind of, well, you don't really need to get into it. We have our hydraulic reservoir here. Hydraulics run your 6-point leveling system and your main living room slide. So in here, we have our 5,500 watt Cummins Onan generator. It's a great generator, puts out 45 amps to recharge your batteries if you need it, and also run whatever AC power you need. However, it's not really necessary for us anymore. We have off-grid systems, so if anybody's actually looking for a generator, it's for sale. We would love to get rid of the weight off the trailer, but as well, above it we have our third kind of door to the basement storage. Great access for when you have stuff way back there, but you want to get to here. Here's your Lippert auto level control. You know, pretty simple. 2 arrows to turn it on. Up and down controls your 2 front jacks. Auto level, you push that button and it'll level itself. Hitch height will lift up the 4 rear jacks off the ground and then reset your front jacks to about the level of where your truck was when you hit auto level last. Retract all does exactly that. It retracts all the jacks, so hopefully you have it connected to your truck. Finally, we have this switch right here. Actually controls the end cap lights on the outside, the 2 LED strips that are on the front end cap. Propane on the passenger side or the driver's side. No big deal. Here's the other bracket, or the Furion camera bracket if you needed it. Over on this side, just another part of the pass-through storage. This is what allows us on the water side to be off-grid. We can get our water from any source because we don't care if it's dirty water, not dirty, well water, lake water, I don't care. Because this Clear Source Ultra is a large 3 canister filter system that will go down to 0.2 microns. They have filters for viruses, bacteria, things like that even. And I have it permanently installed. It's usually just an inline filter for when you fill up, but I have it so that you can connect your water source to here. Then it runs through the filter, comes down here. This is your nice clean water right here, and then goes into your RV. This is your inlet on the 4007, 100 psi max. It's pretty high for an RV. And once it goes in, you select where it's going to go. Are we going to do city fixtures with the water pump off, so you're just running off the pressure of the water spigot constantly, or are you going to tank fill with the water pump off, and now it's putting this water into your freshwater tank to be drawn from later? And to draw from it later, you just go to dry camping and you turn your water pump on. This switch, we didn't know what it was in our previous video. We learned it's the water pump. Winterize and sanitize fixtures. This will bypass your water heater, just like the other bypass valve will. And this will allow you to run either like safe antifreeze in the wintertime so that you can keep your lines from freezing and your tank from freezing, or put like a light bleach solution through to help sanitize everything when you're coming out of, maybe a period of sitting for a while. So I'm going to go back to dry camping, turn the pump back on. And we have our cable. This is the main cable. Like if you have a line from the campground, goes in here, and then there's a splitter that will go to all 4 TVs. If you have a satellite dish that you have to go connect directly up to the little box itself at the TV, you run it through one of these 4 lines. There is a sticker right above that kind of shows you everything here. It talks about the water bypass, the winterize, everything like that, but it has labels for all your features as well. They may not actually be hooked up exactly as labeled, so it's going to be a trial and error to figure out which TV is what. Otherwise, over on this side, we got a light, we have a water pump, and we have a receptacle here, and we have a seal that's been coming off and I need to resecure it. And last but not least, we have our black water flush valve right there. So you'd hook up a hose right here after you've dumped your black tank, and you run clean water through your black tank. And then, of course, the little outdoor shower. Here's our gray and black tank handle pulls. So we have 2 gray tanks and 1 black tank up in the front. The 1 black tank is for that bathroom up front. The gray number 1 is for the sink, shower, and washer dryer. The gray number 2 is for the kitchen sink. And the outlet for that is right down there. So we'll continue moving around and look backwards a little bit, and you can see our slide and slide, which is, well, it gets a lot of comments, I'll say that. But that's what provides all that extra room in there. As we move to the back, we have black tank flush for the kids' bathroom, that half bath, and black handle, gray handle for their sink and their toilet. It's a toy hauler. So you carry 4x4s and side-by-sides, things like that, so you have to fuel them up. This is where the fuel tank is on board. We have a 20-gallon fuel tank that goes straight to the generator. And then we have a 30-gallon fuel tank that's your auxiliary fuel tank that connects up to your fuel pump to refill all your toys. That is controlled by your panel here. You turn this on, and now you have about a 5-minute timer to use the pump. If you need to use it for more than 5 minutes, you turn it off, and you turn it back on, and you get 5 more minutes. Then you can check the level, the quantity in your fuel tank. Here, I'll just take that off. And you got the generator, and you've got your fuel pump, or your actual like pump tank. Otherwise, that takes us to your hookup for 50 amps. 50 amps, 125 and 250 volts right there underneath. This is a couple additional things we added were 2 large 6-inch PVC pipes so that we can put all of our sewer pipes in there along with the adapters on there. And then underneath we have the portable waste tank that is just ratchet strapped to the top. And back here, we've got our back deck, as you saw before, but as you can see, it has the safety railing on the outside. The safety railing is pretty simple as far as taking it apart. You just bring it here, and then it'll kind of jackknife. It overextends on itself to release from the bin, and then kind of push that back. And the same thing here, where it secures, lift that up, or use your toe from the other side, and then that's going to jackknife as well. And back. It folds up. And then they have straps to secure them. I'm not going to do that right now, just for the demonstration. Say you need to load your dirt bikes or your 4x4, you take out the D-ring pin here and release the cable, and do the same thing on the other side. And now this will go all the way down to the ground. We're really high up in the back because of the upslope we're on, but normally you would have kind of more of a gentle level, or gentle slope upwards there. And then to put it back in, it's the exact same thing, just reverse. It's up, pinned, and that's it. Pretty simple. Do it to the other side, and now you've got your deck again. Otherwise, that kind of concludes this. We'll move on to talk about the electrical system a little more in depth. So here we are in the basement with the guts of our solar and electrical system. Up on the roof, we have our solar panels that have direct wiring down to our solar charge controllers. They go into the PV, that's photovoltaic solar panel, and then they come out a nice steady flow of DC power to the batteries. So 2 solar charge controllers, because we have 2 basic systems. We have front and back solar panels. They come out, they connect up to the battery bus bars, the positive and negative, and then those go to the batteries for DC power to charge, or they go straight from here over to our Victron 3000 or Multiplus 3000s. That supplies a total of 6,000 watts to the rig, which is a 50 amp service. So I'm basically always operating like I'm hooked up to 50 amp service. It's kind of nice. What that'll also do is it'll allow me to regulate how much power I draw off the pole. So if I'm on a 15 amp pole, I can tell it to draw only 10 amps. Or if I'm at a buddy's house and he's got a 50 amp pole and I plug into 50, but I really want to use all my solar and just, not use his electricity that much, I can say, I only want to draw 10 amps off his pole, period. So it's kind of nice. Very, very, it just has a lot of features, I should say, that allow us to kind of control every little aspect of it. Then from the multipluses, that's also the inverter that converts from DC to AC. So all of our outlets and electricals and everything get their power from those. From the batteries, I have one line that goes to that converter, the 24 volt to 12 volt converter, so that's what runs our 12 volt system throughout the rig. And then we just have some, protection fuses, a cutoff switch on the other side. There's a phase selector switch, but those are all little minor details. But this is kind of the guts of what allows us to live off-grid if we want without a generator. As long as we have basic solar, some cloudy skies works fine too. But yeah, thank you. Why don't we go on up to the roof to see the solar panels themselves. So here we are up on the roof now. This is the solar system that allows us to go off grid without the need for a generator for the most part. And we've lived weeks at a time without any electrical source besides this. We have 12 250 watt panels for 3,000 total watts of power. They are mounted on a residential rooftop system. It's a rail system, so they stay about 6 to 8 inches above the RV for a couple reasons. One, it kind of provides a little bit of heat insulation from the sun itself, which is nice. And then because of that space, it goes over top of the rooftop vents, the skylights, things like that, even the wine guard antenna that's up here. And I can run a perfect line down both sides of the RV. And it's a nice clean install. They're wired up so that the back 6 panels and the front 6 panels each go to a different charge controller in the basement. All the wiring from each one of those little systems goes down through the rooftop box here, and then goes down behind that main control panel that we saw earlier about a couple minutes ago in the video, and then into the basement and connects up to the charge controllers. Also, if I can have that real quick, this is something that's slightly different, or slightly different than the solar. This is our rooftop antenna for our cellular modem. So we have a directional antenna that we put up, and we suction cup it to the side on a pole, and we can point it at a cell tower nearby, and it amplifies the cellular signal that we can pick up. And then the modem card, it's an AT&T card, is what we use. That's our Wi-Fi, and we can get we can get good signals out in remote locations. But I just install that, and then this is just kind of cabling that goes down into the rig that connects up to our modem.
Thanks for tuning in on our tour of our 2021 Heartland Cyclone 4007. Comment below with what you love most about our home on wheels.